Hello and welcome to the Sunday Footy Show, as I said. And great to be back here with my colleagues and my friends. I'm just offsetting anything you might have up your sleeve. Damo, how are you, mate?
I'm well, TJ. I love the Dockers' steeliness last night. I thought there was a genuine toughness on and off field, which has, by beating Hawthorn, it's set their season right up.
It was a great weekend of footy. Some of the best footy I've seen, especially that first half from the Dogs and Crows. That was some of the most skillful footy I've seen all year.
Well, I think the last quarter and a half of the Collingwood Suns match is going to take some beating, isn't it? That
Absolutely.
was amazing stuff. How are you, mate? You look tanned and...
$1 million I feel, TJ. I feel $1 million.
Funny
Had
about
the sun on the back, feeling good, and I've held off on what caught my eye as well that I wanted and I've been desperate to, and I'm actually going to head to the plasma for it. So that's how big I'm building this one up.
What caught my eye?
I'm excited,
That's
Browny.
exciting.
I'm excited.
I like it when you get excited.
Who should be concerned?
You, TJ.
Table slapper. Is it a Llordo table slapper?
Exactly right.
Okay. Well, that's okay. Wimbledon's on at the moment, and you have seen a return of serve.
Yes,
well, there'll be one coming. And Nathan Brown's here, of course.
Always good. I agree with you. The best round of footy so far. The footy's been great. But as a commentator myself, I love it when other people get the opportunity to commentate. It doesn't happen in Australia that often. You got to commentate on the news the other night, a live car chase. Yes?
Well, that was during the afternoon.
What was that like?
What?
The commentating the live car chase.
Well, it was. Well, it wasn't enjoyable because it was quite scary.
You did a good job.
Thank you.
Well, let's have a listen to it.
Well, Shane, the entire newsroom, he's gathered around. This is terrible stuff, what we're seeing. Most of the panels of the car are hanging off. The driver is now, the car's still going. The car's still going. Oh my God.
So that was the car chase, and you did a great job. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic, and I thought you could overlay that into your own car chase here, or your own car crash.
Well, Shane, the entire newsroom, he's gathered around. This is terrible stuff, what we're seeing. The instinct to sort of get out of the way. Still going. Oh my God. He would be in a world of hurt at the moment if in fact he's doing anything.
Continuously, I'll give you that.
Good, Brownie.
Oh, you like that?
I thought that was smart.
You thought it was smart?
Really clever.
I tell you what, if I ever do take up commentary, I'm not going to put a voice on and be overtaken by Lee Montagnier and Mark Howard, all right? So, all right, let's take a look at the results from these matches of football so far.
I love this show.
Brisbane Lions over the Blues by 6 goals. Gold Coast Suns survived the scare. Adelaide by 11. The Giants are very good over the Cats after quarter time. The Tigers, they bounce back. And the Fremantle Dockers over the Hawks late.
And Brownie, the fascinating 9 teams not going into the top 8 spots is just playing out quite unbelievably. We've seen Collingwood drop 4 points. It had 10 premiership point lead, now only 6. Adelaide going beautifully. Have done enough now to consolidate a top 4 spot. And really the big team there is the Gold Coast Suns, who've got that game up their sleeve and is effectively in the top 4 at the moment, given the overhang game is against Essendon, which is absolutely depleted. As we look at the bottom 10 teams, the only one of real note there is the Western Bulldogs, who are now a game out, but their percentage is really good. The Swans have just left themselves, we think, too much work to do. 3 games away from that 9th spot, plus a heap of percentage.
OK, just before we get into the first of our issues for the day, does anyone think the Bulldogs will be in the 8 come season's end at the expense of either Fremantle or whoever?
Oh, they're a big chance to still make it, yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Right, who drops out?
It's so hard to tell, but I still think Freo might.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe it's their run I've looked at, mate. They've got a bit of a tough
And
run,
Hawthorn are the other vulnerable one after the loss on the weekend.
We'll go through their run home in a minute, but Hawthorn have 3 big games coming up. If they can win 2 of those 3, they'll make it.
And the other fascinating thing too, Damo, we might be able to talk about later, is the Gold Coast Suns. If they do earn a top 4 spot, they do earn a home final. And to take it another step further, imagine if they get to actually host a preliminary final at their home ground.
Well, that's all at stake now. I mean, with that game up their sleeve, they effectively, as we speak, in the run are 4th on the ladder. And if they do win a qualifying final, they get into that situation that you've just alluded to. And if they lose it, they get to host a semi-final either way. So, yeah, it's a big win what they did against Collingwood.
OK, now, if we've had one text, we've had 100 texts over the past 12 hours about this incident. Damo, take us through this involving Sam Darcy.
Yeah, this is the Jordan Butts incident, TJ, from the Adelaide Crows game yesterday. And to the best of the Crows' knowledge, even this morning, TJ, this arm that Darcy has used to make contact there with Jordan Butts is the reason, or at least the starting point to him suffering soreness in that part of the body. Now, it's officially a punctured / collapsed lung. He spent the night last night in a Melbourne hospital, and there's expectation this morning is that he will stay in hospital again tonight. The worst case scenario is he misses 6 weeks. The best case scenario from here is he misses 2 or 3. But I just want to stress that while that contact from Sam Darcy is believed right now, and this may emerge and evolve as the day unfolds, they may be looking into it if it was a pre-existing condition, had it happened elsewhere. But while there is a belief that's when it actually happened, when he reported the soreness and the damage, there's no anger, there's no outrage, there's not even any angst from the Adelaide Crows, as best I can tell in the calls I've made this morning to the footy club about it, despite that being a serious injury and being an issue that, like Christian Petrarca last year, a player with an internal damage being taken to hospital.
Yeah, and I've heard the exact same thing. They do think that that's where the soreness started from, but that incident, something like that happens, that happen 100 times a week with no consequences or no outcome driven by any of it happening in the midfield. Trying to get separation happens with forwards, trying to get separations from defenders, and in this one case, someone's unlucky enough to have a collapsed lung. Are we looking at a week, or is there a fine?
No,
or is there any?
I don't even think they look at it. They couldn't possibly look at it.
They have to look at it, Brownie.
Why would they look at it?
When a player's been taken to hospital, you have to look at it.
But he just pushed him in the chest. That happens 20 to 30 times a game.
That's not putting him away. That's just what Michael Christian will do. He'll look at it as he will 100 other incidents.
But if he gets a fine, then does Michael go through all the other clips?
Michael Christian?
Yeah, does he go through every other moment where a forward's done that to a back or a back's done
get
to
a fine.
forward? And does he go? I hate that's so reactionary to injury.
Yeah, absolutely be reaction. Is this something that is going to get stamped out now because of this? Is this something we're not going to be able to see from people tagging or being tagged?
Look, whilst we all agree he's not going to get a week for it or 2 weeks, and he probably won't even get a fine, it will be looked at, and it should be looked at because there's a player in hospital at the moment. They're duty-bound to do it.
The jostling around the stoppages has been overlooked, Brownie, to your point. And again, none of us on this panel expect that to be the outcome. But when you do have a situation where players are unable to travel back to Adelaide with his teammates, as he was unable to do last night and is going to be in Melbourne for at least another day or so, it needs to be looked at.
Yeah, but your view is it shouldn't be looked at. Or is that your view, or is it Daisy
That is my
Thomas's?
view.
Yeah, okay.
That is my view. He has just pushed him like that happens 20 to 30 times a game.
It happens a lot with
It happens a lot. So why would you look at it? It is a footy action.
No, Nathan,
why would you look at it?
No one thinks he's got a case to answer, but when you've got a bloke in hospital, as Damien says, of course they're going to...
And it's not a footy action. That's not a footy action.
How many
that's off the
times a
ball.
day does
Don't say that's a footy
would
action.
someone push off and do that?
But don't say it's a footy action. Don't say it's a footy action. It's not a footy action. There's no ball in play there.
Does that happen 20 to 30 times a game?
Yeah.
So it's a footy action.
It happens on a footy field.
It happens when you're trying to get separation to maybe move, but there's no angst from the Crows, hence why that...
Yeah, I've said that.
Okay, so we'll talk about that game in detail in just a moment, but I do want to have a look at the Fremantle and Hawthorn clash, and this is a great win for the Dockers, but a very costly one potentially for Hawthorn.
The last quarter, so Damo teased it off the top of just what a win this was for Fremantle. Three-quarter time, everything at stake. Hawthorn are in front, and it was a 4-goal 4 to 2 behind quarter from Fremantle. They were ruthless. 17 entries to 10 Fremantle's way. They laid 103 tackles for the night. Brutal in that last quarter. They weren't going to lose.
Dockers like those numbers at times.
It was sensational, and just the passion and the hunger that they weren't going to let this one slip. And I just wondered, obviously they're ninth, so there's a lot to play, but what played out during the week and the pressure on their coach.
Sounds like they've gone up in your estimations on the back of that last quarter. Would that be right?
Well, they are a different team at home, in my opinion, Brownie. So we'll see how they travel to play Collingwood at the MCG this week. But it was a pretty special win for them.
Yeah, I think there was an element of what happened during the week, and also the celebration formally of great Michael Walters' career as a Docker. I think it all came together. Justin Longmuir, the coach, TJ, as you well know, not usually one to engage publicly with defending himself and his club, but he did so during the week in the lead up to this after what David King had been saying about him and his footy club.
To be honest, if I had $1 for every time someone asked me what I've done to David King, I'd be a rich man and I'd probably be in the Bahamas, guts up, rather than doing this job. So, and in the end, like, everyone needs to understand that it's just David's opinion. Yeah, I don't think David's put together a game plan, put together a list, put together a culture. So, yeah, it seems a little bit over the top, but yeah, it seems to be his way with me.
It's almost quote of the year.
I think it is. In the
Bahamas, guts up.
And look, their words, they're one thing, but the actions after, to Lloyd's point, after three-quarter time was what came out of it mostly, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I even understand the scrutiny on Justin Longmuir because the last 9 games, they've won 7 of them. And previous to that, they lost to Collingwood, which was over in the West, and they only lost to them by, I think, 14 points.
There was a lot of scrutiny on this very show.
Yeah, well,
earlier in the season.
Yeah, because they weren't performing at that point. But I'm saying the last 9 games, and the only other game they've lost is Sydney by 11 points.
They weren't hopeless in that.
No, and they weren't hopeless either. But this is the youngest list in the competition.
Yeah.
Younger than Richmond, younger than Essendon. It's also the second least experience per games as well. And that's less experience than Essendon, less experience than Richmond, and they're still fighting it out for the top 8.
Let's have a look at Hawthorn's run home, because with the Bulldogs in 9th, with a better percentage, you can't rely on your percentage. So Port Adelaide, you'd think they win that one, and you think they beat Carlton, so they'll be in a really good position, possibly even in the top 4. Then it gets hard. Then you play Adelaide away. You play Collingwood at the MCG. Melbourne's a tricky one late in the season, then Brisbane in the Gabba. I think it'll come down to that game against Brisbane at the Gabba. So I think the Hawks probably need to win 2 of the 3 tough ones, and they'll get there.
What's your gut feel?
My gut feel, TJ, is the problem for them is we all hoped, and I thought they could play off in a grand final this year, but they are a long, long way off that. So now we're talking about, can they make the finals versus can they actually be a threat? Because all year they haven't been a threat in terms of being a premiership chance.
That last month of footy, though, is against the best sides of the competition. If they can get on a roll and win those games, do you still think they're a grand final chance?
Well, as I said, we sit here right now and they haven't quite grabbed me at all right throughout the season.
Will Day and potentially Mitch Lewis coming back, does that change your view?
Well, Mitch Lewis they haven't been selecting.
Yeah.
So
he's only played 3 games back, though.
Yes,
yeah.
but they put
from a ACL
Shadir over him, I think. And then Will Day, yes, certainly does make a big difference.
All right, what about the Giants? I mean, the jury's been out on the Giants, only probably, 6 weeks ago. And now it's like, OK, well, this is one serious contender, especially when you can claim a scalp and make Geelong play like they were made to play yesterday.
Heard Lachie Whitfield after the game. He said, we finally feel like we're starting to get where we need to with the game plan and the system and things like that. And Aaron Cadman, as a key forward, it does take this amount of time. Like Darcy's one out of the box. That's how, because he's making that impact in his first 30 games. It normally takes...
It's still his 4th year, though, this year. It's still Darcy's 4th year. This is Cadman's 3rd.
Yeah. Well, he's only played, I reckon that'd be his 53rd game.
Yeah, and that's how long it takes. Around that 50 games to have your feel good. But 15 disposed, 8 marks, 6 goals, 1. Jesse Hogan with him. He's going really well.
Yeah, he's going. Stringer's playing well as well. But it all happened in the clearances. So the clearances after quarter time for the Giants, and it was 20 to 13 centre bounce clearances. They scored a lot out of those clearances. Look, they half-tagged Callaghan. So they had somebody go near him, but it wasn't a full lockdown tag, which I was surprised. And then they allowed Lachie Whitfield. So if there was 2 players I'd look at in the Giants team who were going to cause Geelong some issues, it was this guy Callaghan and what he can do, and it was Whitfield off half-back. And they had massive numbers yesterday. The most score involvements, the most clearances for Callaghan. And look, Atkins, I think he's your first one picked. So Atkins plays in the midfield, but is there a spot for both Mullins and O'Connor going into finals? Because if they don't have a role, if they're not a lockdown tagging role, is there a role for both of them? I think Atkins is their first pick along with Jeremy Cameron, but outside that, I think they need to look at their midfield mix.
And why wouldn't they body up at a centre bounce? Why wouldn't they put some body into Callaghan?
Yeah, he had a heap of space, so it was like a half a tag. They had an awareness of him, but it wasn't a full lockdown tag, which I think Callaghan hasn't really had, and I think he needs to going forward.
Holmes and Smith had bad days, didn't they? So, and Danger had a quiet one, so that's going to happen sometimes. But they've got a really soft run now, Geelong, heading into September.
Don't be fussed, Geelong fans. You're going to be top 4 finishers still. But the one area that I think the Giants absolutely match up really well against them is they score very heavily from their half-back line. Watch this handball here. That forward handball, Geelong don't like that. They like to pin you in their front half. They like to keep you in there, build a bit of pressure, get their backs up the ground and set the ground up well. But the Giants just went off these turnovers, off every time they got it off half-back, and it's what they're good at. They just go at the game, and this is, again, taking bounce. Lachie Ash was outstanding, but again, they get over Geelong's defence, create a contest, and we see Cadman kick this goal before, Damo, but this is how you play against Geelong.
Roy, they've now won 4 games in a row, the Giants, and within those 4 wins, they've had wins against Geelong yesterday, obviously, and Gold Coast and Brisbane Lions. Quality opponents. Is this the GWS we can now expect in the run home to the finals and finals?
I think
or
so.
is it the one that was struggling early?
No, I think this is the one we expect. And everyone always talks about the Orange Tsunami, and it's that type of offence. But for me, it starts with their pressure too. Their pressure against Geelong from the second quarter onwards was outstanding. They were in their face, they were aggressive. that's the orange tsunami.
Adelaide Crows are sitting nicely in third spot on the ladder at the moment, and I tell you what, the way they dismantled the Western Bulldogs, they too will be considered a real threat. A great team effort by the Crows, but there was one individual performance that caught your eye.
Yeah, that's Rhylee Thilthorpe, and Browny's going to take a look at the Dogs' defence shortly, which is a real concern. I thought it was the score flattered the Western Bulldogs yesterday. The Crows were far superior in every department, and Thilthorpe, he exposed that weak defence.
The Crows definitely felt like they were a 4 or 5 goal better side on the night, so the Dogs did well to stay within touch.
Yeah, I thought the defence of the Crows is strong, the midfield's going really well, and they work so well together, and they've got threats absolutely everywhere, Brownie. No Rhylee, no worries yesterday.
Yeah, it'd be tough to be Lobb and O'Donnell at the moment. So when you look at the back six, it's not just them. They play Russian roulette, the Dogs. They're so attacking. So let's have a look at this. So I'll ask, are you going to be Caulfield a lockdown defender? Do you have what it takes to be a lockdown defender? Are you going to go to ground like that and allow Rankin? There was a couple of times Caulfield, I think he's a work in progress, but does he have what it takes to be the lockdown defender? Now, let's have a look at Sanders over the top here, and you've got Curtin. So that's your wing roll. What the Dogs do is they like to get the football. They attack to get the football. So they've lost the football here, but I feel like Sanders is still trying to get the football. He's still trying to figure out where the ball's going to go. But there's his man in a goal-scoring opportunity. And again, this one, they win the football, Adelaide win it back, and now they've got players who go back and try and read where the ball's going to go. Bailey Dale here, he's going backwards. He's trying to think the ball's going to go. So they try and get disposals over defending their opponent. This sits in the air for a long, long time, and Tex Walker marks it. Sides who have got good defensive back six, they just get that one to the ground. And this is one here, Liberatore on Rankin, and then you've got some space on Cummings on Sanders again. So Liberatore is a 50-50 ball, allows Rankin to get the footy, and Sanders gave Cummings so much space that it's hard to make it up. When your opposition get the footy, it's hard to make up that ground. And this last one with Caulfield, you're a minute 20 to go. You're playing defence. Why are you playing on there? You should be just rolling down the clock. But what happens? He kicks that long. Adelaide eventually win it back, and Caulfield finds himself having to defend again. So they win the footy back. This is the defence he didn't have to do, but he gives away a free kick. Rankin kicks the goal. All of a sudden, they're 5 goals behind at three-quarter time instead of 4.
So, Damo, we touched on it a little earlier about, the Dogs and can they make the 8? Can they?
Well, yes, but they've got a tough draw, TJ, and they've also failed against teams around them on the ladder. And Rory's point about GWS having its true identity on the past 4 weeks, I think that stat there, TJ, the 1 win only from 8 matches against teams in the 8 is clearly, after 18 rounds, the Bulldogs' true identity. So they're falling short, and I think Brownie's just highlighted their biggest area of concern, that being the backline. They refuse to pick a third tall despite having options down there. Bustlinger, Jones being options, and Karmas as well. So they chose not to yesterday against a team that is known to go in with 3. They're going to go with what they've got, and it's falling short.
I'll ask you a question later. They're full out attack. The Bulldogs is just attack. Is it too late this time of the season, round 18, to change what you are, or are you what you are?
I think 1 and 7 tells me they are what they are, and I can't see anything changing.
All right, well, Rhylee West will join us on the handball a little later on. We'll put that question to him. What about Richmond? They weren't supposed to win a game this year, but they chalked up their 4th win last night at the expense of Essendon. But the Bombers didn't only lose the game.
Yeah, we'll start there with this assessment, TJ. Both Nick Martin and Will Setterfield. Now, this is a really shattering injury. Brad Scott last night, post-match, said that most likely he has done an ACL there. That right knee buckling there just before he goes over the boundary line. No problem there with the artificial turf. It's the buckling of the knee before he actually hits that artificial turf. And this happened also to Will Setterfield, where he ended up with a right foot being very, very heavily iced up. And we don't know how many weeks he'll be missing, but the genuine concerns for Nick Martin out of that. Those names are added to a horror list of injuries, which is curtailing the Bombers' form this year. It doesn't totally excuse them for the rubbish they dished up on field last night, but there's a starting point to at least realise why.
I've never seen an injury list like that.
It's right
to quality players that just can't happen for their footy club.
Yeah, so that's the injuries. But next year, I think the Bombers need to be challenged, and the coaching staff have to look at the way they move the ball. So the Bombers are bottom 3 for offence. So this is how Zach Merritt's different to everyone else. He takes on those kicks and he will make some things happen. So the ball gets out. Hobbs has all that space in front of him. Caddy should be coming back up at the player, but he handballs. But this is the rest of it. So the Bombers kick backwards more than any other team in the competition. So that is got to be a huge focus of, you look at the way Collingwood take the game forward, Brisbane take the game forward, the Giants take the game forward. So all the best sides, The best sides love this because they can just defend the ground. But this has gone on and on and on at Essendon under Brad Scott that has to be addressed over the off-season to say, you know, let's forget about all the injuries. The injuries are one thing, but look at the centre of the ground that you have got. We're kicking to a big ruckman out into the flanks. How are we ever going to score if we continue to do that? And we never, ever take the opposition on. Gets left with a ruckman. The opposition love it. And all you're doing is sweating on a turnover. That's what the opposition wants you to do. And then this is late. 2 minutes 20 and the Bombers are down by 9 points. Look at all the space that they've got, but where they end up just going long to a one-on-one because they refuse to take on the corridor, TJ. So I think the injuries has papered over a lot of cracks in how they move the footy.
All right, good on you, Matthew Lloyd there. Now, what about Friday night? This was Collingwood up against the Gold Coast Suns. And I did say on the news on Friday night, the most important game in the Suns' history, this one, to really find out where they're at and sort of try and cement their place in the 8. They did it. They got the 4 points. But, Llordo, I just want to ask you, you know, as happy as they will be with the 4 points, will there still be areas of concern for the coach?
No doubt, TJ. Here was Damien Hardwick speaking after the game about what went wrong in that second half.
We're just growing and learning in that space of what it is to absorb, but more importantly to keep playing. We sort of, you know, I thought we probably went in our shells a little bit. We didn't offensively challenge them at all. So we'll get some learnings out of it as well.
Here is the learnings for Damien Hardwick. So this is the first half of football where the ball movement was outstanding, but then it went wrong. So they were just electric off half back. And you look at Collingwood setting up the press. And this is a young side maybe who's not ready to win a premiership on what I saw after half time, where rather than going in for the kill, they thought, how can we hang on to the lead that we've got, which is around that 4 or 5 goal mark, and just try and protect the lead. But they were a sitting duck. So the only way they took the game back on was when they went down. They went down by 3 points and they said, oh, we have to score now.
And their captain led the way in that moment.
Noah Anderson, yeah, one of the great goals out of the centre bounce. But this was it. And this is what happens. If you want to play this way, which I just showed the Bombers earlier, if you want to do this, Collingwood love it. They just shift, they shift across, turnover, and then on the way back, this is the football that Collingwood would play. Unfortunately for Collingwood, they missed the opportunity to put the Gold Coast Suns away. But Rory, that's where they've got to improve. But you like what you saw first half?
Yeah, well, Gold Coast's first half was incredible. They had a clear plan coming in to take the game on and to go at speed when in their back half. They didn't, as you said, want to be pinned in. Even that one, most players get pushed back off the mark. That's just a long to a contest. Walter's terrific mark, but they want to attack that last line of Collingwood's, which is exactly what they do here, and they want to do it with speed because they know Collingwood like to set up exactly how Llordo just mentioned. This is my favourite clip of the night. Again, no time wasted there from Rhylee. Forwards are outside their opponent, so that kick's absolutely crucial, but that handball is just as important. If they go back off the mark there, Collingwood gets set up, and you see there's only centimetres in it, but that gets over the top of Moore, who's ready to read that one. And again, once they can attack the last line, they've got players out, King's out. That's how they got it done with the movement off half back. The other way they got it done was around the contest in their forward handballs. I want to watch the way they break the tackles, they use that forward handball because they know Collingwood's pressure is so good and in your face that you've either got to be strong in the contest or you've got to handball through them. Purdy and I spoke about this on Classified the other night. Miller could have booted that long, but we get the extra leg drive from Rao, who then finds a target, and this summed up their night. It was Big Boy Month. At the start of Big Boy Month is what Dimmer mentioned, but that's just grit from Noah Anderson. He led the way all night. This is a huge hit. This is Big Boy Month. This is contest. Watch the way they break some tackles here too. Rao just strong in the contest again. Break that tackle, release the hands. Again, another tackle miss. Forward handballs against Collingwood work as long as you can finish and you have the runners there. So a clear game plan going in and well executed from a young side.
I'll tell you, when you look at it like that, they're a very good side to watch, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And Touk Miller was central to a bit of what you showed there. He unfortunately was subbed out of the game with a hamstring problem. And again, he's obviously going to miss some weeks, you would think. They yet to officially put a week's out component to this diagnosis. But also too, Jeremy Howe has been so important to Collingwood this year for what he's been doing, but just suffered some groin issues there late in the piece. And again, he plays hurt regularly, that man. He may be requiring a rest as a result of what happened there on Friday night.
Llordo, I know you want to talk about Josh Daicos in particular, but if you were Craig McRae, would you be overly concerned with the result? I mean, there's a lot of positives to take out of that, isn't there?
Yeah, a lot of positives. So no concern at all. You always have a few concerns when you lose a game of football, and then we're going to take a deep dive in Primetime Takeaways at the personnel of Collingwood and what they need to do. But this was Josh Daicos. So out of a loss, TJ, you sometimes you can uncover something. So if they were winning by 6 goals, Josh Daicos would never have gone into the midfield. He would have stayed off half-back. And they've uncovered what I said on Friday night covering this game. He could be nearly the best midfielder in the game. I know everyone says his brother is, but what I saw from Josh the other night was, why can't he be in the best 2 or 3 midfielders in the game that we have? So I wouldn't be sending him to back to halfback, because he was that good.
But he's been so good at halfback, though.
I know he has, but you can.
And they had a 3-game lead at the top of the ladder, so it's
easy
served
back
its
there,
purpose.
Browny.
It's not easy back there.
But we've spoken about how important halfbacks are. The Carlton don't have any.
It's tough.
It's not tough. It's not.
So who replaces Josh Daicos at halfback? Because Houston's already there. Who replaces him? Who's the distributor role? Because I'll argue that they're 3 games clear because of the balance of their side, and Josh Daicos plays a very important role in that.
What I saw in that first half, Collingwood cannot win the premiership with what they served up in that midfield. There was a mess. They were slow. They were pedestrian. He changed the game. Obviously, Pendlebury they got wrong, being the sub, so he was back in after half-time. Miller went out, so there's a few circumstances, but I'd rather Dan Houston back there, and let's look if Oleg Markov can play off half-back and provide run.
Just want to go back to your comments about 45 seconds ago. It's not hard to play back there.
No. If I wanted to come back as a footballer, that's where I'd want to go back.
How many of your former teammates
They
texting you at the
played a
moment?
different brand of football back then. So the Solomons and the Hardwicks, they played tough, uncompromising. If you want to go back and get easy touches, you go back to the half-back flank. And some are better at it than others. But, geez, it's a nice spot to play.
It's a nice spot.
I like it. A nice spot to play. Well said.
All righty, then, of course, Brisbane continued the miserable year for Carlton in what was a miserable week, really, and we'll talk about that in detail a little later on in the program. But right now, it's always with some nervousness. We get stuck into what caught my eye, and kicking us off this morning is...
new ball.
I beg your pardon?
The new ball I've got. OK, let's get into it, because I've already spoken about how I loved your commentary. Always love your commentary. I never miss the news. I never miss you when you're on the sport. And you had a bit of an issue with an international name again on the sport.
Oh, yeah. And Tour de France favourite. Today, Pogacar has made it a century of career race wins. Today, Pogacar...
I'm not sure that's his name.
No, well, hang on.
I don't think that's his name.
No, I was distracted and I forgot to pre-read it. So, yeah, no, that was unforgivable. Today, Pogacar. I know what his name is.
But that gave us an excuse to just roll a few out of the internationals. Let's have a trip down memory lane.
World number 6 overcame wildcard Sabine Lisicki in straight sets. She'll now play Czech Petra Kvitova in the final. Nick Kyrgios' stunning form at the Cincinnati Masters continues with a straight sets win over Alexandra Dolgopolov. And while that's close, Nick Kyrgios has made a pretty embarrassing first-round exit at the Toronto Masters, losing to unknown Canadian Denis Shapovalov. That's how unknown he is. Kyrgios took to Instagram in a live video chat with fellow Aussie Thanasi Kokkinakis. Thanasi Kokkinakis. Well, hang on, that's stupid editing there, by the way.
Another thing, has he?
No, the thing is, like, how far... You've brought back the Kiss, you've brought back stuff from like 10 years ago. How about we go back last week when you basically defamed Charlie Curnow, right? I might make a deal of myself, but I'm not a liar and a plagiarist, mate. So if you want to go down that path...
You're not a team player, though.
No, come on.
What did I do,
TJ?
Well, high-fiving at three-quarter time when clearly it was before the game.
I've got a timing issue. It doesn't change my opinion that you shouldn't be high-fiving and laughing with your opposition before the game. Is that an issue? I've got a timing issue. Got it wrong. Who cares?
TJ, it's
like you got all those 18 names wrong.
They are brutally hard now. I feel for you. There's no way I'd get any of those names right at all, TJ. I've lost it. Anyway, I'm going to... NRL run a campaign. It's called Try July. Great initiative where they donate... Let's roll some footage, please. They donate $5,000 for every try celebration. Currently, there's over $100,000 raised in the first week of this campaign. This is the Canberra Raiders doing a Duck Duck Goose celebration. The only problem is the try didn't count So they pulled the trigger slightly too early. The decision pending, no try. But don't worry, ladies, because you've learnt from the very best. Our man over here, Nathan Brown, is a king of celebrating before the actual win. This one, Geelong came back and won. Again, he gives David King a little show me how it's going and then gives the finger to the crowd. Again, they lose that one to North Melbourne. And this last one here celebrates a win. Yes. Oh, hang on.
Still got the 2 points, Rory. Still got 2 points.
You love celebrating.
Timing
draw,
issue?
So.
It was actually quarter time, was it? Or?
Timing, that was it.
Hey, now, you might remember about a month ago, it might have been leading into Dreamtime at the G, I think, Essendon and Richmond. And we brought this to your attention, you might recall. There you go. If you want to pick up your limited edition Lloyd T-shirt.
Llordo. Look at the pipes on him.
How much of a slice do you get out of this?
I know nothing about it, TJ.
Is it?
Come on, Llordo.
Same colour jacket. So you said, I know nothing about it, TJ. You knew nothing about it?
No.
Well, we have uncovered exclusive text messaging from Matthew Lloyd saying if anyone wants it for Sunday, new range of teas. So clearly you did know about it, Matthew.
I think it might be $2 a T-shirt or something.
You have been exposed.
Exclusive text messaging, TJ. I like it. Hey, Hugh Grant has been creating international headlines of many natures over many years, and he did so again during the course of the week. Your mate TJ playing on 10 a court at Wimbledon. Novak Djokovic not intent enough to have Hugh Grant stay awake for that game, but that does remind us, Rory, of some famous AFL identities who needed a bit of a kip in key moments. Tom Mitchell wins a Brownlow when his coach Alistair Clark said could not be bothered listening to the acceptance speech, felt it more important to get some shut-eye, and the famous one, though. The great Lee Matthews, when he was still coaching the Brisbane Lions, just dodged off, just nodded off.
His eyes are open,
it's so exhausting, Browny, scouting future opponents.
Now, it has to be big to come to the plasma.
Yes,
What caught my
is.
eye, but I think this is big enough. So I got exclusive vision of another camera angle of your talk before the Port Arlington game. So it's come to light that somebody else had a camera filming, and I'm focusing on this man at the back. So here's TJ speaking. I know it's grainy vision, but when you bite your nails, you get a bit nervous that something's going a bit too long. And look at the guy rubbing his face, thinking, when is this going to end? Please end. I'm not sure this is going to help our team win. He's just getting more anxious and nervous as you went cameramen, my producers, and all this sort of thing. Me. And after a while, he's bitten all his nails off, and he says, I cannot take this anymore. I just need to go and get out of here. He's just gone. I don't know if he's the president on TV. He'd seen enough.
You're happy with that, are you?
I thought it was good. I was worried a bit early, but...
Table slap.
I liked it.
It was good. You said you liked that rev up.
The rev? I was just trying to be nice to you.
Since when? When have you started that?
I'm always nice to you. It's just that you're so combative that people have to go back at you. You're a very combative person. Yeah, I think you need a little bit more love in your life. Wow. You're a hard-edged man.
Give him some love.
Oh,
I need to get you to talk to somebody.
Nathan, I'll talk to somebody in a minute, mate. Same bloke you rang through the week. Right, we're going to take a break here on the Sunday Footy Show.
Is that the boss?
That's the boss.
What happened?
No, hang on. No, don't. Right. Okay, we'll take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. Back with more in a moment, you silly little man. Welcome back. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. Well, it's not a pretty sight for Hawthorn fans, that being the score. But Fremantle Dockers, well, they're looking pretty damn good at the moment, and their fate is in their own hands in many ways.
Oh, it's so tight, and it was a wonderful win for Fremantle. Just what they needed after slipping out of the 8 last week. Switkowski played a great game. 3 goals, Bolton's kicked 2. Jordan Clark, what a season he's having, 31. Brayshaw, best on ground, 29. Sarong, 29. But one of the important cogs through the midfield is Jaeger O'Meara, and he joins us this morning. Jaeger, congratulations on that win last night. The energy in the stadium was electric, and it was a big last quarter from your boys.
Yeah, thanks, Lloydie. It was a farewell game for Sonny Walters, so it was important for us to put a good performance in front of our home crowd and send him off in the right way. And I thought our boys brought the pressure from the start of the game and all throughout the course of the game, and it was a great win for us.
Jaeger, that pressure you spoke about, was that something that was missing, you think, in previous weeks? Did you ramp it up more so last night, you think? Or because 103 tackles is off the charts?
Yeah, for sure. Particularly our first halves, we just haven't been jumping into games as well as we would like to. So that was a big focus for us, just bringing as much heat as we could in the first few minutes of the game, and then hopefully the rest of the game would take care of itself. But I think we jumped into the game really well last night.
A lot's been made of the ruck duo, and I thought they did a really good job last night. Sometimes it doesn't work, but last night I thought it was outstanding through the middle of the ground. How have you seen that? You get a close-up version of your midfield ruckman. How do you see it working?
I absolutely love it. We've got two of the competition's premier ruckmans, so why not use both of them? And I know Lloyd makes a premier ruckman himself, so it was a good challenge for our boys, and I thought they did an extremely good job.
Jaeger, it's Rory Sloane here, mate. You've also got two unbelievable leaders, Alex Pearce, but also Brayshaw, mate. His game, a fearless leader around the midfield. How important is he to your group?
Yeah, absolutely, Sloane. He's the heart and soul of our footy club, to be honest. You would have seen him come off the ground last night with blood all over himself. I saw a grab of one of his interviews, and he just had blood streaming down his face and on his jumper, and that's just the way he plays. He plays a combative style. He's extremely hard-working and brings enormous pressure to the opposition, and he's a bit of a barometer for us in that aspect of the game, and yeah, we absolutely love playing with him.
What were the keys to shutting down Hawthorn last night? What were the focuses going into that game?
Mainly, to be honest, we focused on us. Lloyd, it was more around, as I spoke about before, our pressure and our ability to just scrap and bring the ball to ground. And then we feel like if we can bring the ball to ground, we're a good ground ball team. And we just focused on the pressure side of the game, really. And they're a team that if you let them play the way that they like to, they just give you on offense. So we're a really good team defence as well, and I thought we brought that for the whole night.
Jaeger, we spoke before about the public edge that your coach, Justin Longmuir, chose to take into the week leading into the game, with how he held firm on comments made about him and the footy club. And it just seemed to be a different Justin Longmuir, at least publicly. I know there's a different persona to what you see, to what we see on the outside, but that was apparent this week. Did you draw on that as part of the build-up to the game, and did you draw on it actually coming out of three-quarter time?
We didn't speak about it, to be honest. I think it was more organically there for us, and yeah, he's a great coach, and I think he's been coaching as well as he has since I've been at the footy club over the last few weeks. So yeah, we needed to put in a good performance for him, and actions speak louder than words. So if you win a game and bring that sort of pressure that we did last night, then potentially that stuff goes away, that noise goes away. So. Yeah, it was a bit of a rough week for him, but we are a family at Freo, and we wrap our arms around our staff and our players, and I think the boys did that fantastically last night and throughout the week as well.
So, Jaeger, that was a huge part of the motivation heading into the match, was it? Just to do it for Justin?
No. As I said before, we didn't even speak about it. It was more organically. I think it was a big occasion for us. It was a big game against a team who was sitting above us on the ladder and at home on a Saturday night. Sonny Walters' farewell game, so it was a really big occasion for us, and we didn't really need any extra motivation. We were trying to keep our season alive, and yeah, we didn't really need any extra motivation in that aspect. But I think it was important for us as a collective to back him up and get a win for him.
Speaking of Sonny Walters, he's been one of the all-time greats of your club. What did it mean last night, and what has he meant to the Freo Dockers?
Mate, he's been a stalwart of our footy club, a bit of a pioneer in the aspect of looking after our Indigenous players and just our younger players in general. And the club absolutely love him. Our fans absolutely love him. He's just a great person. He'll chat to anyone. He can talk underwater, but yeah, he's been an absolute pinnacle of our footy club, and he'll go down as one of the best to play for our club.
Now, Jaeger, you don't have to look too far to find your littlest, biggest fan. You and Tori, your wife, welcomed this little fella into the world a little earlier this year. Young Julian, you must be over the moon.
Yeah, little Julian, he's 5.5 months old now. I'm not getting too much sleep, a little bit more than we were at the start, but I'm absolutely loving fatherhood. Tori's doing an amazing job as a mother, and yeah, it's been amazing. I've really loved it, and he's such a good little fella. I'm starting to get a bit more out of him now. getting some giggles and some smiles and stuff, which is really special.
Well, plenty of Fremantle supporters would have been smiling last night.
The votes last night, TJ. Well done to Sam Switkowski as well, who I haven't mentioned, who was kicked 3 goals, 18 disposals. He's one of those pressure players Fremantle love. But Brayshaw, we just heard the heart and soul, the heartbeat of the Fremantle Dockers with 9, Sarong 8, and Carl Amon was the Hawks' best player.
Nice work, Llordo. The best prize back in the business when you come on the Sunday Footy Show. A family pass the Gumbaya world where water slides, thrill rides and wildlife collide. Julian will love that when he gets a bit older. The Hit Fit membership combine bodyweight and boxing for a full body workout, and you'll be best dressed on the golf course thanks to Clutch & Co. And we'll kit you out in Cat Star, Brad Close's clothing brand. Be close, your swing, your style. A box of Chrome Tour golf balls and a cap thanks to Callaway. Bar Fridges Australia are back for all your beer and wine cooling needs. Bar Fridges Australia is your one-stop shop. A pair of Aquilas, premium quality footwear since 1958. A pair of Rick's eyewear that inspires confidence. And when you're in Melbourne, go to Platform 28, the best pub in Docklands. Rhylee and the boys in there, they'll do a great job for you. And elevate your wardrobe with the latest streetwear style from St. Goliath. 2 pairs of hybrid undies. This is new in a mid and long leg from the Better collection. They've sewn elastic into the groin line, which is a game changer. Trust me, I've got some, had them on last night. Treat yourself to some Daniel's Donuts. Book a delivery online today. And some caps from Travis Matthew, all coming your way, Jaeger.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Jaeger, there's a fair bit there for you, mate. We'll have to get a semi to take it all over to you.
There's plenty there, eh? Chuck it on a ship for us, lads.
All right, no worries at all. Great to catch up with you and enjoy fatherhood and also your journey with Fremantle.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day.
Right, thank you. You too. Right, we'll take a break here on the Sunday Footy Show. When we come back, Damien Barrett's been working on some breaking news for us.
Yeah, AFL's released a statement pertaining to Jack Graham. TJ, just wading through it, and we'll bring the details of it after the break.
All right, we'll see you then. Welcome back. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. Breaking news now from the AFL, Damo.
Yeah, they've just released this statement, TJ, pertaining to West Coast's Jack Graham, who has been found guilty of conduct unbecoming for words expressed to a Giants opponent last week, round 17, to use the AFL's own wording, highly offensive homophobic slur against an opponent. There's now been a 4-match sanction attached to that. The statement does go on, TJ, and you can see this on the 9 social media platforms. This is a statement from AFL Head of Integrity and Security, Tony Keane. Everyone understands the word he used is both hurtful and totally unacceptable in any setting ever. So the self-reporting element to it, the apology directly to the AFL CEO, as well as the other investigation into it, 4 weeks beginning today. They've got a game today, obviously, Rory, and 3 matches beyond that is the sanction.
Did he know if he flew to Adelaide or is he...
This obviously investigation was going during the course of the week. They've announced it today officially at 10:30, released it at 10:30 to all media. So he would have known about that for some time in advance.
All right, we'll be hearing more about that throughout the course of the day. In the meantime, the MCG last night, another opportunity for Essendon to overcome this spate of injuries with a win, but it wasn't to be.
No, and it is just reality that they've got the injuries there and they've just got to try and perform without it. It was a pretty tough game to watch, if I'm honest. There was no goal kicked in the second quarter. Richmond started really well and finished well. I thought Taranto was exceptional, and he's led the way as well as Prestia. That midfield group for Richmond has been the reason they've won 4 games this year, I think. So, yeah. I liked what I saw from Richmond still, though.
Yeah, the skills from both sides were as bad as you'll see. So Richmond won the game, but both teams have just got to get better. They turn it over by foot.
Neither team's got a goal in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Richmond, no goals in quarters 2 and 3, and Essendon, no goals in quarters 2 and 4.
Yeah,
so it was dreadful.
One man
Let's be honest.
It was tough.
Yeah.
Will use it well as he gets more experience. Taj Houghton debuted last night. A really good start by him, 10 disposals. But what he does is obviously I know Taj really well from being able to coach him the last 3 years before being drafted. He never loses his feet, so there's been a lot of similarities to Shea Bolton because Shea Bolton doesn't lose his feet very often. So he had some really nice tap-ons and knock-ons to get himself involved in games. So he's only his 4th week back from a knee reconstruction. So he's been out for about 14 months. Played 2.5 games at VFL level. So you're going to see some exciting games from him in the run home.
Absolutely, you will. And that's why some of the young guys are playing such good footy. Vlosten, Broad and the midfielders I mentioned before, having this senior group around them really helped. So my votes, Taranto got the chockies. He was best on. Vlosten I put in there too. And Merritt just tries his heart out every week. And he's having an outstanding year, Zach Merritt, in what's a pretty pretty tough side at times with the lack of personnel he has.
OK, so while that match had no bearing on the top 8, the next one did, of course.
It did. It was a really good game of football, which Adelaide won, as we know, against the Western Bulldogs. Aaron Norton was outstanding, particularly in the first half. He kicked 5. Rhylee Thilthorpe up the other end. He was unstoppable. Fogarty got his hands on. He's been down a little bit, Fogarty. Dawson, he could be the All-Australian captain. He's going that well. Curtin continues to improve. I didn't think Bontempelli could have done any more in what he did. Richards 29 and kick 2. But Llordo, over to you.
I think what the Dogs have to be careful of is not bombing. When you have such targets in Darcy and Norton, it can be easy to just bomb. So this is one that comes off. So Bontempelli sees, Darcy, you're that good. I'm just going to put it to your favoured side. But he marks when you've got 1 in front and 2 on him. So they have to be really careful to lower their eyes and have their forwards move. So this is Darcy himself thinking, oh, Aaron, you're down there. I'll see what you can do. But it's just played into the hands of the Adelaide Crows yesterday. So there's a few more. Some of them are under pressure. But the Adelaide sweated on this. They've got a wonderful defence, the Adelaide Crows. And I thought they played the perfect game. And some of them are under pressure or just hacks. So that can happen. But this next one, I reckon the Dogs have got to change up. So look at the numbers. Now, we know where the ball's going. It's going to Sam Darcy. So even the big ruckman, Riley O'Brien, he just kept doing it time and time again. So that you just don't want that. And you see the frustration creeping in to these Western Bulldogs forwards. So it's something they have to address.
You mentioned the pressure, but that's how you beat the Dogs. And that's why they've struggled against the top 8 sides, because their level of pressure is far better than that bottom 8, I think. Geordie Dawson, you touched on him before, Nath. Is he a chance to win the Brownlow medal, do you think?
Well, I think he would have either got the 1 or the 2 yesterday. Go Thilthorpe the 3, but he'd be right up there with Nick Daicos, who probably didn't vote Friday night.
That's a great finish too. But see, the skill level of Adelaide Crows, I was a bit nervous a week before when they played Melbourne. I thought their skill level was off. They missed a lot of targets. But under the roof last night, not being big about roofs on stadiums, but the skill level was exceptional. And Tex goes back and slots this on the left foot, which we know a lot of young kids can't do it.
I love Dawson's aerial ability. The fact that he can go forward and take a big mark at any point just, I think, elevates him above other midfielders. His aggression. I think he could be the All-Australian captain this year, or a vice-captain. He would definitely make the side. Thilthorpe, a 9, thought he was the best man on the ground. Bontempelli had a game for the ages. He was outstanding. Dawson and Norton, particularly for his first half.
Llordo, deep dive last week. Oh, you would have loved it if you were here.
I did watch it back and enjoyed.
How many times?
No, just the once. I watched it with my mother, actually, and it was very enjoyable.
Oh, that's good. Of course, you were the subject of deep dive.
Yeah.
A new subject coming up after the break, and Llordo will be driving that one for us.
One of the smoothest the game has ever seen is Andrew McLeod, and he is the focus of the deep dive today. He comes in at number 14 in my best 30 I've seen in the last 30 years in my time covering the game. He's the Adelaide Crows games record holder, 2 flags, 2 Norm Smiths, always stood up on the biggest day, 5 All-Australians, All-Australian captain as well, Indigenous Team of the Century, an AFL Hall of Famer. And I was critical of halfbacks before, but he's the first person that I saw go back to a half-back flank and cause absolute headaches. So I'd be there and he's always an extra behind the ball. And they just would feed the ball back to him at Footy Park and he just run an absolute muck and use the ball as well as anyone. So the decision-making, the skills, never wasting a disposal, would never panic. Touched on Pendlebury a couple of weeks ago about him, the game stopping for Scott Pendlebury. Well, it always would stop for Andrew McLeod, just a special player, and he could have played anywhere. Could have been a midfielder, half-back, half-forward. He did do it all right throughout his career.
Yeah, and as you rightly point out, Llordo, changed the way 2 grand finals unfolded in the second half of the 2 that they won. And you mentioned how he moved. He was such a smooth mover. It was as though he was playing a different game. He had gears and was able to stay in check, but he always was able to explode away from opponents and move around them and just drop a gear there to move around. It didn't matter what and where he played. He was always hitting the ball with timing. And look, even this, I mean, running at full speed, it looks so effortless and casual, and yet he's burning away from opponents in all of these bits of vision that we're showing. He did it for an extraordinary amount of time. Key moments too. I memean, look at the scores in some of these games and look at what he's doing in these moments when they need to be determined and decided. And then talking about moments, it's a prelim final. A massive final, maybe final in the 2006 season. And again, look at the score. So look at what he did at the old footy park there in key moments.
He was your teammate, Rory. What can you tell us about him?
He was meticulous. He was the ultimate professional. He didn't train much, actually, because he had bad knees and I didn't expect him to play over 100 games. But he found a way. So in my first pre-season I got there, he spent basically the whole pre-season on the bike with Charlie Walsh, who, if anyone knows what Charlie Walsh is like, you spend more time on the bike than you do out on the track. But that was his way to prepare. It got him in great condition. He came out and trained when he needed to, but that kept his knees fresh and his body fresh.
What was that like for you, walking into the rooms and there's Andrew McLeod?
Oh, you're in awe. I came in, it was McLeod, Edwards, Goodwin, and these are three of the absolute greats. Well. I just missed Rashudo, but McLeod was the one. You looked at and you just learned from him in terms of how he trained. When he trained with energy and purpose, because he couldn't waste a minute on the track because he spent so much time off it getting his body right.
And tell us about the goal kicking, because he could, as I said, he just would glide through and he kicks a lot of big bags of goals as well.
Big bags and in big moments, as Damo touched on too. And these are a couple of match-winning goals. This one against the Hawks, it's just an incredible finish. And again, like, it's the speed, it's the class, it's the ability to keep your feet. Young lessons for kids, like, get on your feet quick, but he was just all class. And this next one...
That was his breakout goal from the career starting, yeah.
Yeah, second year of footy, and that oval too. Like, there's so many fond memories. People still talk about Andrew McLeod at Footy Park there. But this one against the Pies in 2015, I remember this from the boundary, and I just grew up watching, idolising blokes like
Non-preferred.
this. Non-preferred, and this is why, kids, you use your opposite leg, because
3 minutes to
like
go
this,
from the boundary.
From the boundary, look at that. And he ball drops, watch how he ball drops, he gets that fade on it intentionally too, so a special player.
Yeah, wonderful career as we touched on, and I just want to get a few more highlights of his career. And just so the big marks, the big goals, it's just some of his early days at Football Park there, taking the game away from the Bombers. Said in those big finals against North Melbourne, electric Andrew McLeod, as I said, could have played anywhere. So the Rolls Royce, he could turn on a dime, and I just touched on Houghton earlier in terms of not losing his feet. Shea Bolton never lost his feet, and Browny, this was a guy who was just special and exquisite, and he was so hard to tackle.
Couldn't tackle him.
No.
Just couldn't tackle him. So he just had this turn and this lateral movement. Not only could he run straight, unbelievably quick, but his lateral movement is as good as any player you'd ever see, and he was able to get away from so many players and so many situations. So you just look at that. I mean, you go one way, then the other, then the other, then your left foot snap. So just the hips. You couldn't follow him, and I think Tony Liberatore is the best tagger of this generation. 1998 prelim final, we set Tony Liberatore to tag him in this game. Andrew McLeod kicked 7. He was being tagged and he still kicked 7. He started at half-back. He kicked a lot of them from half-back, went to the midfield, went forward. There's Libba there, but just ripped the heart out of the Dogs. And 7 in a prelim. Then you lead into a grand final, and he did it all over again the next week. Obviously won 2 Norm Smith back-to-back, but 7 goals when you're being tagged, unheard of.
Well, as you say, he did win 2 Norm Smith medals back-to-back, 97 and 98. Only 2 players have done that, Andrew McLeod and Dusty Martin. Spot on. And, I mean, it should come as no surprise that he should have those medallions as part of his collection of trinkets from his playing days, because just an out-and-out star, as we've said. And when it came to the big stage, he rose even further, if you can believe that.
He did. And I think, like, going back, touching on his career, he could have almost played another year. I was still looking and going, he's still moving pretty well, but we had a young group coming through that Craigie wanted to start blooding some games into, but he wasn't done at 340 odd games. He maybe in this era could have kept going once, like we're seeing a lot more senior players keep going for longer periods of time, but he was that meticulous with his body.
So 2 Norm Smith medals, 97, 98, and Llordo, he could have added another medal to his collection, albeit a different one, a couple of years later.
The Brownlow, TJ, 0-1, he came second. So Jason Ackermanis lost by a couple of votes, and many will say this was his greatest year of so many that he had. So 0-1, averaged 24 disposals, kicked 29 goals. And I know Acker has often spoke about, he thought Andrew McLeod may go on and win this Brownlow. So special. I think the last game of the season, he had over 30, kicked heaps of, I think it was around the 4-goal mark, but only didn't didn't poll very well. So he got 5 threes throughout the year, but went through a lot of games. People thought he'd poll and didn't, and he only got the 21 votes in a system where they polled a lot less.
As we keep looking at this, it's as good a highlights package as anyone's ever got in their game. Look, the explosiveness and the brilliance we've already spoken about. There was the longevity aspect to it as well, which I think put him into the greatness category. And this was him playing his 300th game. At that stage was only the second Indigenous player to do so after Gavin Wanganeen. And to reach that number, and then as Rory said, to go on beyond it for a couple of seasons and possibly could have gone on even further. But he didn't lose much as the career unfolded, and as his body aged and obviously got a little bit slower, he still was able to impact games, including in the milestone match.
And he wasn't a dirty player, was he?
No.
But he did get suspended. Do you know he got suspended one game, Llordo?
I do remember this.
What happened?
Well, he wasn't much in it, Rory. If we take a look at it, there wasn't a lot in it. But as he was coming, I was going for a mark.
You made a lot of it.
There wasn't much in it. Oh, my face. Not the moneymaker.
He got suspended. What was the actual charge?
The charge was charging, I think, but in the tribunal. So I dobbed in Buddha hocking a few years earlier, and it wasn't a smart thing to do. I was sick of Buddha getting me a few times. So I went in and I said nothing in it. I hammed it up, all those sorts of things. Andrew was winking at me, putting his thumbs up, but unfortunately got a week. But I tried to look after him, but couldn't get him off.
Oh, that smells. I don't know. That smells. That stuff. I don't have to believe that.
How many did you kick that day?
I'm not sure, TJ, but I used to average around that 4 or 5 mark. So I'm not sure.
Why do you set him up,
But I love him. He said, I need more love in my life.
You do.
I love Llordo. All right, we'll take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. Another great deep dive,
Thank
mate. When we come back, we'll take a look at what went right for the Giants and what went wrong for the Cats. Welcome back. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. The Giants this morning find themselves in 7th place on the ladder, 1 game clear of 9th position. How'd they do it, Rory?
They were outstanding. We saw before with Browny's analysts, the contest was enormous. The way they wanted to move the ball against Geelong was quick and fast. Whitfield was great. Lockie Ash, I think, off the half-back line was unbelievable. But their forward line started to become really damaging, Llordo. And one guy, Jake Stringer, really stood up. And when Hogan only kicked 1 goal, we had Cadman kick 6, Stringer popped up and kicked his 4. You've also got Green and Jones.
Had a good month, hasn't he, Springer?
Really good month. And their forward line's starting to look really damaging.
He's kicked 2 goals, multiple goals in his last month.
In key moments too,
In key moments, yeah. And that was the best game he's played for the Giants. And look at his body, he looks fit. And when you've got Hogan and you've got Cadman down there, he might get the number 3 defender, which he hasn't had ever in his previous time at the Bombers.
And they're not just reliant on Hogan anymore, which is great for them.
Lee Kalia down the other end, so he had a few goals kicked on him, but you like what you see, Rory.
I do, yeah. He was third man in, he was jumping, he started the game really well. I thought it was a catalyst off the half-back line for their intercepts and then got their game moving. But it'll be an interesting discussion when Sammy Taylor comes back because he had a ripping game. I thought Buckley was outstanding again. Their backs
Neil still kicked 5 goals on him, or most of the 5 goals on him.
Yeah, the second half are more of them, but it was early. I loved his game.
I think they have to play him too because other clubs are sniffing around, aren't they?
Yeah.
Especially St Kilda.
Votes?
Votes. Got the votes here. Cadman, obviously, can't miss Cadman with 9. Kick 6. Stringer was outstanding. Lockie Ash, again, he gave them their run and carry. And we spoke about Finn Callaghan. Why not put more work into Finn Callaghan?
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the local footy legends. We love our local footy legends. And this man, David Johnson from the Emerald Bombers. Have a look at this one. Just getting your foot to it at the top back. Have a look at that. That is as classy as you'll see. David Johnson, well done, the Emerald Bombers. He's actually the coach as well. Have a look at that. Just sort of held up there. But that brought us back to some of the great volleys of all time. And who better than Alan Jakovic against North Melbourne? Have a look at that one. Alan Jakovic, was he a talent? Alan Jakovic. Gavin Wanganeen. It's not a volley sort of off the ground, but it's still a very, very good volley. And then we had Llordo. Times 2. Llordo, there's one. But he said, no, I'm in there twice. I've done a couple of volleys. And there's my second one up against Darren Gaspar. Aaron Davey. David King as well. There's your man, David King. Damo. David King, that is from 60. That is nice. And then Aaron Davey just out of mid-air. Have a look at that.
Love that he could have taken that on the chest.
The flash. And then Luke Parker is the last one. Back over his head. Well done to David Johnson from the Emerald Bombers.
Absolutely. I love local footy.
It's good.
I devour scores.
When you pay to go into it.
I'm sorry, mate?
When you pay to go in.
Yeah, and I just love like Cora Rutherglen had a massive win yesterday. Seaford.
Who'd they beat?
Who's that? Cora Rutherglen.
Yeah.
Well, it's the first time they've beaten this thing. I think it was one of the Albury teams. I'll find out for you. Also Conniva. And what about Berwick, the cellar dwellers of the Eastern Footy League? defeating the top of the table, East Ringwood, which could help them avoid relegation. So well done to everyone there at Berwick. All right, we'll take... What's the theme for your quiz?
Theme for the quiz is nicknames. Great nicknames. So,
Who won last week? Did you win, Damon?
I think it was me.
Oh, TJ.
TJ came home hard, yeah.
Believe it or not, it wasn't
Got him a
me.
bit. Damo, what's happened to you this year?
I don't know. I've dropped off a cliff this year in the quiz.
He's sunk to my level.
Make
You
sure
dragged
you
me
shut
down.
up in the handball with your questions, Damo, OK?
All righty, what are you suggesting? That he's a little slow on the uptake?
I just think he's been a bit off this morning.
As slow as Rory with the voice.
I had a touch of Damo.
All right, that hasn't gone to air yet, Rory. All right, that's coming up a little later on the handball. But up next, it's Nath and his quiz.
Brownie's quiz brought to you by Sportsbet. $500 on the line to the home viewer, Damo.
Today, Amy Richards, Smithfield, Plains in SA.
Brent Turner, Tarneek, Victoria.
Nathan Marshall from Lockleys in South Australia.
And from Geelong and Victoria, Lachlan Frawley.
All right, $500. Good luck to the players playing today. Nicknames. That's where we're heading. Nicknames. Easy one to start. Which Adelaide ruckman was known as Sauce?
Sammy Jacobs.
Sammy Jacobs. It was a
Not
nice,
very kind
easy
of
one just to get you into it,
Yeah,
Rory.
make me feel
Sometimes
good.
you don't speak during this segment.
Have you won one yet?
I've won 2, thank you, Tony.
Okay. Question number 2. Name a player with an animal nickname.
Thanks,
John Longmire, horse.
Name a player.
Current.
Yes.
well-
Yes, former player. I'll give you that.
Oh, thanks. I was right.
Famous faces. All right. What is the nickname and inspiration for the Sunday Footy Show logo?
An awareness. Captain Blood.
Captain Blood, Jack Tyre. Famous faces. Well done. Damo.
Okay, let's have a...
There's horse.
Some good nicknames on here. Buddha. Wombat.
Let's go with our great mate, Texan.
The Texan. Suvalarki's down there too.
Loves you, the
The
Texan.
run-on, Damo. You get the run-on. Here it is. Lucky I got it.
He's
Your
not very
time
quick.
starts
Are you sure
now.
you're right for the run-on?
Which clubs did Silk Burgoyne play for?
He played for Port Adelaide and Hawthorn.
Correct. Mick Nolan was also known as the...
Galloping gasometer.
Well done. How many sons does the Macedonian marble have playing for Collingwood? These are really
Has
easy.
2.
Who is the Flying Viking?
Flying Viking is Taru, Alex Taru.
Oh, he got home.
A tactic at North Melbourne was once called long bombs to who?
Long bombs to Snake.
Time's up. You don't
No,
get that last one.
you got the question.
Yeah, time's up for that last one.
Snake.
Not sure who wrote that one. Dorothy Dix as well. How easy were they?
Hey, but our normal question writer
Yeah,
is
he's
off
away.
today, James, isn't he?
He
A
is.
mid-year break, apparently.
Mid-year break.
Deal with what you got.
Mid-year break. Oh, James Regan. Okay. Which former Collingwood captain was known as Fig Jam?
Thanks, Choppers.
Well, Nathan Buckley.
Nathan Buckley is correct.
Don't ask me what it
Unfairly.
stands for.
Mel Gibson and Danny Glover starred in an action movie series.
Thanks,
Which...
Choppers. Chop.
Lee Matthews.
I'll need more information.
Okay, well, Lethal Weapon. was the
Lethal.
name of
Nah,
the- okay.
You
well done,
spent your way
Tony.
through there. Well done.
Good job.
Sorry, Damo.
I said well done.
Chance
I'm giving
here,
you
so
well done.
I was onto that one too.
Name a player with a religious nickname.
Thanks,
Gary
Choppers.
Ablett.
Chop.
God.
Well done. Famous faces, Tony.
TJ.
TJ's gonna...
You got Plough, Plugger, Suvalarki,
Yeah, I'm going to go Mr. Football.
Mr. Football. Plus
Oh,
2.
TJ.
Here covers Tony.
goes to the lead.
All right.
You and I just have to go.
You holding your run?
Yellowstone is full of cowboys. Name a
Cowboy Neil.
cowboy Neil Llordo. Good one.
Good one, mate.
TJ's dog recently alerted him to something at a petrol station. Which former Brownlow medalist?
Deegan Williams.
Diesel Williams.
Brilliant.
Has to be Buddha.
Joey Montagna.
The Wombat.
The Wombat.
You know why he's a wombat?
No, why?
He looks like a wombat. Nick.
I wasn't going to win.
Okay. Which Richmond High Flyer nickname could be associated with a night
Thanks, Choppers.
Michael
Chop.
Roach Disco.
club? That is correct, Tony. Which Hawthorn player could you associate with Harry Potter?
Nick Watson.
Oh, yeah.
Nick Watson, the Wizard.
Yep. Last one. Last chance for points.
Come on.
Let's go with Suva. Suva Lake.
Suva.
You are a big North fan.
Negative one.
Gives you a chance, Teach. We have to go
Okay.
over here, Rory.
Scores are Damo 5,
done.
Llordo 1, TJ out to 7. I played 260 AFL games. I'm a 2-time Coleman medalist for 4 points. I am a mode of transport for 3 points.
Lloyd! No.
The G train?
The G train is correct for 3 points, Rory. That doesn't really get you anywhere. So the winner today, Tony Jones, back to back. $500 coming whose way, Tone?
Back to back at full strength too. Lachlan Frawley from Geelong. Well done, Lockie.
Lachlan, $500 coming your way thanks to Sportsbet. If you want to join in, wwos.9.com.au/Brownies quiz.
We're going to take a break here on the Sunday Footy Show. I'm pumped. I'm very pumped.
And you weren't accused of cheating as well, which was good. I'm saying it's the first time.
Until now.
It's the first win you've ever had.
Until now, you've just accused him. You weren't accused of cheating.
You're enjoying it too much, so I just wanted to get a little
always just got to be a backhander, doesn't it? You can't just let me... And you wonder why I'll come back. Anyway.
You need a little bit of love in your life.
OK. Come and hug me. Come on.
No, absolutely not.
OK, we'll take a break on the Sunday Footy Show. Back with more in just a moment.
It is now time for Primetime Takeaways, and we'll go back to have a look at the Gold Coast and Collingwood on Friday night. And I'm going to ask the question, did Craig McRae cost his side the 4 points at selection?
Wow.
So I'll put to you, Myercheck was rested, so they're 10 points clear. Pendlebury the sub, and playing Mitchell and Long in the same midfield, which I don't think many would say works. So I'm saying if Pendlebury starts the game, do they win? If Myercheck is played, do they win? Because they gave Mason Cox some minutes. He may say we're managing the squad and all those sorts of things, but I just wonder whether they got too cute in this game.
Didn't we
cost them going up to the Gold Coast?
Lauded at the start of the year when Scotty Pendlebury did start as the sub. I think it might have been against Port Adelaide from memory. Came on and still played well. They won the game, obviously, so it's a bit different. But isn't that the luxury of having 3 games clear?
I would
at the top
say either leave him at home or play him from the start. And can you go, OK, can we get away with taking him off at three-quarter time? Because I just think if you're going to play him, start him, because I think he had hurt the team.
I think what you're saying, Llordo, but they clearly need to and want to get some rest into these older players leading into the finals. And ultimately, they were in front with 10 minutes to go. I know they didn't score a goal in the first half, but they had retrieved that.
In front from the changes they made. Because when that first half was on, it was an absolute dog's breakfast. They were a dog's breakfast. And
I think it didn't help that Daicos went down. He looked hampered in that first half. He couldn't run as well. And that's when Josh came in and provided that run and speed and carry. They just looked a bit slow around the midfield in that first half.
Can I just ask, just backing up what Nathan said, 2.5 games clear on top of the ladder they were going into this. Isn't that an ideal opportunity, without becoming complacent, just to try a few things?
7, 8 games out, I'm just wondering whether you bank another against a good side. So I just wonder whether it was another occasion not to do it against the Suns up at Gold Coast, where it's going to be a tricky game and tricky opposition.
What's their best midfield mix then?
Well, it's only one of the two. I think it's Ned Long. And I just wonder where they were so slow through that midfield that whether, again, Daicos does come in.
So never play Long and Mitchell in the same team?
No.
As of right now?
Same team?
Same team, yeah. They both can't play. And I think Long complements Pendlebury and the Daicos is better than Tom Mitchell does, because Long just plays his role, can take out somebody, he handballs more, whereas Tom Mitchell's an accumulator of disposal, whereas Long, I think, makes the other players around him better, in my opinion. Okay,
Good chat.
Yeah, to the second game, Carlton and Brisbane. I want to say Josh Dunkley won the medal, the first Robert Walls medal that was put up for Carlton and the Brisbane Lions. Who is the most important player to the Brisbane Lions? I'm suggesting that this guy is like Brayshaw to Fremantle.
He does a great job, doesn't he?
Chris Fagan describes him, Lloyd. I've told you this, the most like player to Luke Hodge he's coached and been involved with in footy when it comes to leadership and impact in moments. And if you answer him as you are in this question, you're asking us, Harris Andrews would be one I'd throw up in this space, Lord.
I'm going with McCluggage at the moment, just for the fact that he can break the lines, his foot skills and his decision-making are as good as anyone. So in finals, when you need a job done with the footy in hand, I'm going to go McCluggage over Lachie Neale.
I'm going to go Zach Bailey. Zach Bailey's the one who needs to stand up if they're going to play that aggressive style of footy. He's the one that's going to win games for them.
Can I throw a random one in? Eric Hipwood? Because we've seen that when the Lions do win and win well, it's he who stands up.
Don't know about that.
OK. I told you it was random.
Yeah,
Nathan, you've gone very easy on me there.
Yeah.
Oh, just in shock. Lou Richards' leaderboard. Nick Daicos is at the top. Noah Anderson, Wanganeen Miller, Caleb Strong, Bailey Smith, and Josh Daicos playing some pretty good football at half-back. Could be a midfielder, but Daicos leading at the moment. And this is all thanks to Lexus of Blackburn. This is the LBX worth $55,500. It comes with full on-road cost, 12 months of Vic registration, and they are very good friends, Lexus of Blackburn. Not only do they give us a car on the Sunday Footy Show to give to the best player, but also on Footy Classified Tuesday night. So 2 cars to the footy shows we have here at 9. Lexus of Blackburn, a big part of what we do here, and the best prize pack in the business.
Be honest, what number would he come in?
Eric?
Yeah, at Brisbane.
He'd be outside the top 10 for me.
All I'm saying is we've sat here and really pumped up his tyres when he stood up and the team's won convincingly.
He'd be behind Rayner and a few more others.
Right, OK. All right.
But it's your, that's
your
what the
opinion.
question I asked, yeah.
Appreciate you sharing it.
OK. Are you permanent? We'll take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. Damo's agenda is up next.
I like to have a bit of a joke, and we got a pretty good relationship. And I said to him, like, mate, I've smashed your car into the boom gate. And he's kind of just gone, oh, yeah, it's gold, mate. And just sat on the couch, and I'm like, nah, seriously, like, go outside and have a look at your car. It's going to smash you in front of it.
To have that opportunity to be able to go back and play with my local club, and the opposition actually had a few of my school teachers playing in that team too, which worked out well. How many did you kick? 50 and 4.
10,000 for a booth in Vegas, that hurt.
Talk us through that. US dollars.
Night 1, just got excited.
You got this box.
Nah, I can't.
Perfect spot. A little bit more, and he's nearly there.
Almost there, 2 centimetres down. Come on, Bobby.
He's perfect. Yeah, just a tiny bit.
I'm not doing that.
Oh, you know this bloke, surely.
Hey, mate.
Jaeger.
Massimo D'Ambrosio, Pat Lipinski, Jack Viney, they're all there with Felix tomorrow night after Footy Classified. It is the return of players after a couple of weeks off. Can't wait for that. So check it out on your local guide, but also on YouTube. Damo's here now with his agenda.
TJ, we'll start with the umpire contact issue, which is now becoming a major issue for the AFL and its players. Now, this was Lockie Cowan on Thursday night with contact on the umpire there. Guys, I reckon that's the umpire's issue more than a player's issue. He's in the field of play effectively and in the running zones. I think this needs to be part of the review with the 4 umpire systems, to not have them in those positions in that point in time. And the AFL itself, through its match review office, chose to overlook that and say nothing happened here. But Chera, though, Adam Chera, same match, did make contact with that umpire. And this is the type of contact the game is desperate to remove. Now, there's jostling there with Lockie Neal. He is going to be up at the tribunal. There is a discretion allowance for the tribunal to not suspend him, but they will play it out. And it is potentially where it could land.
He's supposed to have eyes on the back of his head, is he?
No, but there's been enough warnings now for... And Browny, you're big on this, aren't you? You are absolutely big on this.
I think that's totally different to...
Starting behind.
Matty Rowell, yeah. I think completely different. So it's different starting point. Didn't mean to hit him, was behind him, couldn't see him, which is different to where Matty Rowell starts. I think it's his 4th offence from,
and that's
memory.
That's the
why
prize element to him.
I just think they use discretion and go, he had no intention of making contact with him. That wasn't his starting point.
How's he supposed to know he's there?
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, but I think the Matty Rowell case is completely different.
Yeah. And the first one you showed, Damo, I love Vossi's suggestion where it should be balled up in that situation where a big clash like that, players taken out of it, Rayner kicks a goal, another umpire should blow the whistle.
How do we avoid that contact? Like, is there a position that umpires can take that they don't?
Yeah, not where he was in that moment, in my eyes. Yeah, just on the Blues, there are so many issues at play now, and they're two of their bigger players, their bigger contracted players. That man on screen who's won 2 Coleman medals and now has stage fright on the few opportunities he's getting to kick goals, has not kicked a goal in his past 4 matches, and is having, I feel, contests having the life sucked out of them by him missing. And the other problem, clearly, and it has been now for some time, is the Tom de Koning situation, Llordo. We know and have known since the start of the year that St Kilda's put an offer to him that he almost cannot refuse. It's about a $4.5 million, $5 million extra deal to go to St Kilda than it is to stay. That's extra money, not totality money, extra money. And I'm of the view now that it is adversely affecting him and his team to the point where he probably needs to work out publicly, officially, if he is going, and if he is, to maybe not play again until that St Kilda contract comes in. I normally don't say that. I normally say play the contract out until October 31, which is as it stands. But what I've seen in the past month has been bad for Tom de Koning.
It's a big call, not play again.
I just don't think it's good for him. What has happened? He's gone
The
from being
team
an
game,
All-Australian.
though, Damo.
Yeah, but
The
he's not playing team footy, and they're playing him in a position that
Because
they
things
don't.
get hard, you can't, and you're making a decision. You can't
Browny,
go, I'm not going to play.
He was an All-Australian in conversations for the ruck, and now he's been playing as a forward with Mark Pitneb starting in the ruck.
What's the alternative? Like,
How would
an
you-
18-year-old kid who's not ready? Like,
Well, it's all about 2026 now for Michael Voss and Carlton. If he has, I'm saying this is all predicated on the if. If he has decided to go, you may as well bring forward 2026 to the last 7
Can't
rounds.
just stop playing, though.
No, of course you can.
How would it go?
They've got the choice to not pick him.
How would you get contracted? You're a player.
Bossy needs him.
He still gets paid. They've got the choice to not play.
How would it
Well, he's
go-
not playing
As a
well.
human
How
being
would
and
it
as a
go-
teammate, you'd want to be out there supporting your teammates until you're not a teammate of theirs.
Can I ask
But
a
how would
final
it go
question?
quickly? How would it go if he came out and was just open and honest like the NRL and just goes, "Yeah, I'm leaving end of the year, but I'm going to play my heart out for the rest of the year"? How would that be received?
Oh, we're not ready for it. I don't think we're mature
Oh, hang
enough
on, I
as
think
a-
we're
as an
more ready
industry.
for that than we are just not playing at all.
I think that'd be a more mature way of dealing with his situation specifically. I've never had this view until I've been watching Tom De Koning now for a month. He's gone from being one of the better players in the comp to not having
But Damo, football's
impact.
been littered with, like expectations of players leaving a club for another club, and
Yeah.
it hasn't been an issue.
No, because they usually, some of those bigger names, been able to perform within that period. He's not. And Michael Voss, Michael Voss is saying statements publicly, he's playing him as a forward because Harry Mackay's not there. Mark Pitten's not deserving of a game over Tom De Koning in the ruck, which is what has been happening. Zach Bailey, just back to the Brisbane Lions, he had a hit on Nick Haynes in his particular game, and he's been given a week ban for this. I feel we've seen moments like this throughout the course of the year which have been overlooked by the match review office. Look, he's got the right to take this to the tribunal and appeal it, but is he in trouble there, Rory, for what has the outcome?
Well, it depends. I didn't think on the night they had a head clash, but it looks like they might have actually had a head clash, is what the AFL's telling us, which is what they're going on. So if you choose to bump and you have a head clash, with the recent cases, you'd appeal it, definitely, but I don't think he'll get off.
Yep. I've been told we need to move to our next segment, TJ, outside of the agenda, and it's that one. I've never worn an earring, even though you keep highlighting this, but have you heard? Now, Llordo, you're going to be really impressed with the time management and negotiation of the man 2 down from you when I reveal what the source of Have You Heard. Our man is one of the great news presenters of our time. He does the Channel 9 news bulletins, and what he did during the Carlton-Collingwood game of round 17, he was so good. He was able to present news and then negotiate a little, shall we say, appearance at a Collingwood function in between appearances on news bulletins. And I know you, Llordo, you will like what TJ's done there. That in fact he can jam in a favour for the Collingwood Football Club in between news appearances. It's extraordinary.
I've got no idea what you're talking about. I genuinely have no idea what you're talking about.
You went and appeared at a Collingwood function at the MCG in the Collingwood-Carlton game in between news crosses.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think you do.
I don't.
I'm raising it as a praiseworthy element to how you do your work.
Sounds a bit awkward.
No, not at all. Well, anyway.
Did you speak at a Collingwood function on that Collingwood-Carlton game?
Was I guest speaker?
Yeah.
No.
Did you appear at a Collingwood function?
Yeah.
Yeah, in
That's what
between news appearances.
But it wasn't a paid thing.
I just said negotiation and resource.
Yeah.
You said you manage your time well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for your contribution, Rory.
No worries.
All righty. We'll take a break.
That's very awkward, isn't it? Did you bring up your Eric Hipwood thing at the Collingwood function?
Well, what were you more shocked? Well, hang on. What's been more shocking, Eric Hipwood being influential for Brisbane or TDK being sacked?
Just don't play.
Alrighty, we'll take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. Still 3 matches to complete this round. We'll preview those right after this.
Make the most of the cooler months with a winter retreat at Langham Hotels and Resorts. In Melbourne, Sydney or the Gold Coast, enjoy a room upgrade, buffet breakfast for 2, bottle of sparkling and late checkout. The Langham Melbourne, a proud supporter of the Sunday Footy Show.
Welcome back. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. 3 matches to complete this round of football. And let's start with the Demons and North Melbourne.
Browny?
Demons in North Melbourne. I think North Melbourne are a huge chance in this game today. No Suvlaki and no LDU makes it hard, but Luke Parker coming back in. I'd give them a chance.
All right, and Jess Webster is at Marvel Stadium with a special guest.
Thanks, TJ. I'm here with Alan Richardson, the GM of AFL Performance at the Melbourne Demons. We're taking on North Melbourne at the MCG this afternoon. Alan, thanks so much for your time this morning on a chilly and windy Melbourne day, just what you want in the middle of July. But big opportunity back at home, taking on the Roos today. What's been the theme on the training track this week?
Just not to waste a training session. We obviously can't play finals now, so it's about refocusing and making sure we channel all our energy into improving and growing for the rest of the year, and that's what today presents, a great opportunity against a team that's been in pretty good form, so we're looking forward to it.
It hasn't been the season that you would have liked this year, currently on a 5-game losing streak as well, but what are the signs of progress that you've seen with the group, particularly in the last few weeks?
Oh, look, we've had some pretty strong performances against the better teams. Collingwood got us by a point. We beat Brisbane. We beat Freo. Sydney are going okay now. And we did well against those. So teams above us, in terms of teams that are in the 8, we've been pretty strong. Some of the teams around us, we haven't quite been our best, and so our biggest focus is to be consistent. I said we don't want to waste a game or waste a training session to keep building that consistency.
And how important is building culture at this time of the year when finals is not on the equation? The last few weeks of the year, is it hard to keep the players motivated, and do you kind of shift your focus or perspective in times like this?
Well, amongst the playing group, they're in different phases of their career. So young blokes, they're trying to start a career. Some of them are trying to make sure they stay in the team, so you'd expect them to be incredibly desperate. Some of the older boys that have had some success and want success, and certainly that can't happen now, that's a bit more challenging, and so theirs is about building towards next year, and we just, we have to play for our fans, we have to play for people that support us week in, week out, so there's enormous responsibility there.
Do you think about round 2 against North Melbourne, who beat you comprehensively, or is that long days gone and you start afresh today?
Oh, look, there's definitely some learnings. Most of those learnings happened the week after that game, but no, we know that they played really well against us. They've got a brilliant midfield group that if you let them get time and space can really hurt you. That game, Comden down back really hurt us in terms of his ability to get off his opponent and mark the ball. So, we've got some work to do in those spaces.
And Simon Goodwin, 200 games as coach today. Have you got anything special planned other than getting a win for him today? Have you got a birthday cake planned or anything like that for him? Well, not a birthday cake, but a celebration cake.
No, I know what you mean. No, we did a bit during the week. The club put together a really good video package from people that he'd worked with in the past, some past players, certainly some coaches that worked with him, and that was brilliant. We've got something planned afterwards. We've got to make sure we get the W first, but no, he's been enormous for us, and we need another one today.
Good to hear. Thanks so much for your time, and go well today.
Thank you. Stay warm.
Jess Webster there with Alan Richardson at the MCG. Now, St Kilda and Sydney today.
Yeah, it's a danger game for the Swans, I would think. St Kilda are dangerous at Marvel Stadium. They lose Papley, they lose Amati, but I think they just have a little bit too much class. But I think this one could be quite tight.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Llordo. And the other game we've got to finish the round is Port Adelaide West Coast. No danger game here. Port will absolutely brain them over at Adelaide Oval.
And time for Damo's Animal Fact.
TJ, it's important to, at all times, have your eye on the prize, as this dog did when he noticed his owner fall off his chair here, and rather than chase that little frisbee that he's been thrown for it, he had his eyes on the prize, Llordo. He just went straight for the hamburger on the plate and off he went. Don't worry about the superfluous stuff, just have your eye on the prize, TJ.
Good. I haven't seen anything like that since you knocked off the tee on Mother's Day. Once the lights went out.
Mum enjoyed those.
Yes. Well, it was the gesture, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A handball coming up next, of course. Don't forget, Damo. Nice rapid-fire questions, mate.
Yep, and we'll be delving deeply into your appearance at the Carlton-Collingwood game next week, maybe, as opposed to...
Will we?
Yeah, okay,
why is that?
Because he did appear. He just said he didn't in the previous segment.
Why are you trying to hide it?
I'm not trying to hide it. You're being silly. All right.
You were there.
What are we doing? Oh, Furness is back tonight. Furness is back tonight. Furness is back tonight, of course, with Tom Morris, Jimmy Bartell, and also James Hurd. Check your local guys. Great to have the Furness back. Great to have the Furness back. We'll take a break. We'll be back with the handball right after this. Stop talking. Well, welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. It's time for Louis' handball. You know the country singer Willie Nelson? He's got one of his sons' names, Lukas, spelled Lukas, and one of our handballers today is a Lukas.
It is. I didn't know that. Well done. That's fascinating, isn't it?
It is.
I did mention that to Lukas Webb in the ad break, and all you guys were just ready to pounce on me. So I thought I'd get in early there. How you going, Lukas?
Yeah, good. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming in, mate. We'll chat about your career in just a moment. And what about you, the original son of a West.
Rhylee West playing some pretty good football, and I met your brother on Friday who's coming through the ranks at the moment as well. Tough one yesterday against the Crows. They're pretty good.
Yes, they're a very solid side. Do you know anyone with the same spelling as my name?
Yeah, your dad, W-E-S-T. Yeah.
Well done. But yeah, thanks.
That's called a deflection. So do you want to expand on the loss to Adelaide?
Not really. Nah, they're a great side. They got their three-headed monster up front, and we couldn't stop them. So yeah, it was a bit of a shootout in the end, but yeah, we got Friday night against Brisbane, which will be another big game.
Well, and it's another side above you, of course, and that's been a bit of an effort for you.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't been able to pinch too many games sides above us, but we know that, and yeah, we'll continue to sort of work towards that, and yeah, hopefully we can pinch a game at the Gabba on Friday.
Don't know.
I was going to say, Lukas, you played late in that season of 2016. You obviously sampled and experienced that great euphoria of that premiership year late in that season.
Yes, I was at the time at the footy club. A really interesting time for the club itself. Obviously, 2015 I was first drafted, and then 16 we were lucky enough to win the grand final. Yeah, it was a great time to be at the footy club.
What did you do after that, Lukas?
After the grand final?
After your time at the Dogs?
After the time at the Dogs. I went up to the Gold Coast for a year in 2021 and played with a good friend of mine and an ex-dog in Billy Gowers at the Southport Sharks. And then moved back to Melbourne. We own a couple of pubs. We've got the Ascot Vale Hotel and the Mona Castle Hotel as well. So, yeah, that takes up most of the time now.
And Libba's in them with you?
Yes, Libba and Jack Redpath. They're in the Mona Castle. And, yeah, they're great fellas and good to work with.
They behave in there too?
Yeah, they behave. Jack, not so much. Tom, yes.
Hey, Rhylee, you've taken the small forward role on the last couple of years has been really good. You've to the point where Max Michaelani didn't leave you alone yesterday. You were a midfielder, you're now forward. Do you still have ambitions to play as a midfielder?
Yeah, I think definitely. Wanting to keep and growing my game and playing some more midfield time. Yeah, we sort of need me down forward. Obviously, Cody not playing this year, so yeah, sort of filling that small forward spot and just trying to kick goals and assist my teammates.
You've been outstanding.
I appreciate it, thank you, and yeah, just trying to play my role for the team and hopefully we can get some more wins with it.
How difficult is it? I mean, do you find yourself a little bit behind others that don't have famous dads? You know what I mean? I mean, your dad, you've been asked this 1,000 times, obviously. So, what is he, 7-time best and fairest winner, Scott West? Yep. Okay, so big shoes to fill, big shadow to be in, which you've stepped out of now. Do you find there's added pressure on you?
Not really. I think, I'm sort of my own player, and I just try and play to the best I can and be the best player I can. So I don't feel any extra pressure. Hopefully I can live up to the name, and the fans can be happy with me.
So you're chasing.
I was going to say, no, quickly, that game of footy yesterday, some of the best or highly skilled footy that first half I've seen. Do you guys still believe that you can absolutely match it with the top 8 sides? Yeah,
definitely. I think, our best footy is good enough. And yesterday we probably lowered our colours a bit in the first half, which was a bit disappointing. And, once you do that and you give Adelaide who are a good side to look at it, it's going to be hard to come back from. So I think, we can definitely match it. And as I said before, we've got another test, in 5 days. So it'll be a good game.
You're chasing 79, Brett Deledio for the best prize pack in the business. You come on here, and if you get over 79, the Temper mattress, this goes up and down. It goes into a mode called 0G, which is where astronauts sit where they take off when they go into space, teacher. I've got 4 of these at home, the Temper Pro Lux. This is Jason Nicholas and the team. These are the best beds in the world. And what we always say, you sleep well at night on the Temper, and then you go out and you play golf unbelievably with the Callaways, the elite golf clubs from Callaway. You get a custom fitting out of Callaway HQ. Total prize pack here for those 2 items, $15,000.
I want you to answer this at the same time, you two. What does a Temper bed cost?
Us, it was about 6,000, I think.
And I'm an ambassador.
Okay.
So you've got 4 Temper beds and you haven't paid for one of them.
I am an ambassador, Tony.
Why would
whole
any company want you as a face for that company?
That's really good target, I can teach.
Get these boys
Let's get this Handball going.
So it is so good. That is the end of year prize. That's the grand prize, right?
Yeah, I pointed that out.
You've got no, you didn't do it well enough.
Lukas, you going first?
Yeah, I'll have a crack.
All right, have a crack. Pick whichever hand you want.
Yep, sweet. Can we slow it down a bit?
The show or the hand?
7. Nice style.
14.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
What's a solid start? That is unbelievable. And he's on track to take home the Temper mattress. 1 of 4. 7. 5. 12. 7. 19. 7. 26. Oh, good finish there for 33. So 41 plays 33.
Now, Lukas, opposite hand.
Yep.
Okay. Pressure's on, mate. Pressure's on.
No pressure.
You're on track. Oh. You're no longer on track.
Wow.
Once you get that.
That was a 5.
Oh, he's back on track. 5.
7.
Llordo, you're always going, mate.
66.
Do you have a preferred hand?
Oh, it's gotten lower.
71.
Mate, great score.
Yeah, really tailed off there towards the end. 7. 40. 7. 47. 7. 54. Llordo's eyes are shot. 61.
Check his eyes. Get a 10.
68. A ring-a-ding-ding.
I think, Llordo, I think that might be a different result if we actually replay a few calls.
I made it a ring-ding-dinger. Mate, that's all that matters.
More like a rigged ding-dinger. Come on, Llordo. Oh, God, you look like Inspector Peabody. All right, that wraps it up for this edition. Who won?
Lucas.
Lucas won. After all that. Yeah, good on you.
Thank you.
All right, good to see you, mate. And what are the 2 pubs again?
Scott Vale Hotel and then the Mona Castle in Seddon. Yeah,
Right.
just around the corner from the footy club.
Right, which one are you at mainly?
Mainly the Mona. Yeah.
Right, okay, terrific. You should go there. You're a good moaner. Hey. All right, that does wrap it up for this edition of the Sunday Footy Show. All the best for the remainder of the season, mate.
Thanks very
and
much.
Hopefully you can reel in a couple of those top 8 teams. Good to see you, Lukas. All right, that does wrap up this edition of the Sunday Footy Show. Whatever you might be doing for the rest of the day, enjoy yourself.
Hey, may the sun shine on the Western Bulldogs for the rest of the season.
Oh, you're a doggy again now.
Yeah, I was down there
I thought you were. I saw that.